Today, we're diving into the wonderful world of WordPress and the not-so-wonderful ways it's been flexing its muscles recently.
If you're a developer, a site owner, or just someone who enjoys a bit of drama with your coding, you're going to want to stick around for this one.
You've probably heard some rumblings about a few interesting developments. ACF, Advanced Custom Fields, and WP Engine being at the heart of it all. It's the kind of stuff that gets me more riled up than the price of a pint these days. Which, let's be honest, is saying something.
Absolutely. So what's all the fuss about? Well, it boils down to this. WordPress is getting greedy.
If you're not familiar, ACF is like the Swiss Army knife of WordPress. It's a must-have for developers who want to add custom fields and build more complex sites. You'd be hard-pressed to find a serious dev who hasn't used it. Over 2 million sites run ACF. It's that popular.
And here's where it gets juicy. Matt Mullenweg, the bloke running WordPress, has come out and said, why don't we just roll ACF into WordPress core? It's already GPL, already got millions of users. Why bother reinventing the wheel?
Now, on the surface, that might sound great. Oh, look, WordPress wants to save us all the trouble of installing one of our favourite plugins. How thoughtful. Yeah, no. What they're really saying is, let's take this wildly successful tool, swallow it whole, and bring all those users under our roof. This isn't a fork, it's not an integration. It's a bloody hijacking.
Let's be real here. There's always a hidden agenda, and that agenda usually involves fat stacks of cash. WordPress is an open source project, sure, but don't think for a second they aren't looking to squeeze every bit of monetization they can out of it.
They've done it before. Quietly introducing premium features, pushing their own paid services, and now potentially taking control of key tools like ACF. Because once it's in the core, they get to control the narrative. And you can bet your bottom quid that somewhere down the line, there'll be a premium version or some extra features that you'll have to pay for.
Oh, but it gets better. Mullenweg also said they could just auto-migrate ACF users into the new version, along with all their data, comment history, and download stats. No big deal, right? Except this isn't just a migration. It's a power grab. You've got millions of people already dependent on ACF, and WordPress wants to rope them in without giving them much of a say.
It's like WordPress is saying, hey, thanks for using this tool we didn't make, but now we're going to call it ours. And if you don't like it, tough luck.
And the cynical part of me, and probably the smarter part, reckons this is only the beginning. Once they start pulling in key plugins like ACF, what's to stop them from doing the same with others? You've been building sites with Yoast SEO, Elementor, or WooCommerce. You might wake up one day to find they're no longer optional plugins, but part of the core WordPress experience, and of course, conveniently locked behind a paywall.
Here's the bigger picture. This whole ACF move, it's just a test. Seeing how far they can push things before people start making noise. Slowly but surely, WordPress is heading towards a future where it still looks free on the surface, but underneath, it's going to nudge users more and more towards paying for features, add-ons, and services.
Don't get us wrong. WordPress will never outright say, we're charging for the platform now. That would cause an uproar, and they're too clever for that. No, what they'll do is start rolling in these must-have features like ACF, and then slowly limit what you can do without forking out some cash. You'll still have the free version of WordPress, but it'll be stripped down to the bare bones. Want to run a serious site? Get ready to open your wallet.
One last thing before we wrap this up. WordPress has always prided itself on being community-driven, on being open source, and on giving power to the people. But moves like this make me wonder just how much of that community spirit is left. When the platform starts swallowing up third-party tools and controlling more of the ecosystem, it's hard not to feel like we're moving into corporate territory. And once you're there, the only thing that really matters is the bottom line.
So, is ACF the beginning of the end for the free open-source WordPress we've all come to rely on? I reckon it could be.
To sum it all up, keep an eye on this ACF situation. It's not just a plugin getting rolled into core. It's a sign of things to come. WordPress tightening its grip, consolidating control, and nudging us ever closer to a pay-to-play future.
If you're a dev or agency and ACF is central to what you do, now's the time to start asking questions before the rug gets pulled out from under you. Or at least make sure your wallet's ready, because sooner or later WordPress is coming for it.
Right, that's enough ranting from us for one day. If you've got thoughts on this WordPress situation, drop them in the comments or give us a shout on socials. We'd love to hear what you think, whether you agree with us or think we're just cynical old gits.
Until next time, keep your plugins up to date and don't let WordPress nick your lunch money.